Today we are going to study chapter number 1, electrostatics. It is electric charge and electric field. Friends, we cannot imagine the world without electricity. It's a basic need. And electrostatics or electric charge and electric field, it is these are the two terms or words which we have to understand how this electricity works. Okay, what is electric charge? To get the definition regarding to electric charge, we have to understand the physics, or we have to understand the nature. Okay, so I am going to explain you how the term electric charge came right to know us. We understood electric charge in this way. How we came to know about the electric charge? Here it is. The entire universe is made up of two things. Which are they? This entire universe can be divided into two different parts. One is called matter. You know it very well. We have studied that in Newton standard. Another we know is radiation. Okay. So radiation is nothing but the energy. You know what is radiation about? We have studied in Newton standard some part, and remaining part we'll study in 12th standard. Right now, the matter, if you want to divide, so universe has two main basic part, matter and radiation. If you divide matter further, so it is made up of the different kind of the substance. Substance further divided right into the molecules. Okay, every molecule are there which form substance, and the further molecule is divided into what? Atoms. Okay, so let us study further. Now, if you divide further atoms, they are made up of basically three different particles. Which are they? Three different particles atom made up. One, you know very well, proton. Second, electron. And third one, neutron. So these are three basic part of the atoms. Atom is made up of the three basic particles. Out of these three, if you want to divide it further, then these two, one neutron and proton, they are made up of basically quarks, and then more subatomic particles are there. We'll study about it in further study of the physics. See, electron is not possible to divide further. Electron is individual particle. So here, if you write down this proton and neutron, okay, this proton and neutron, these are made up of the quarks, and there are two types of the quarks right now. Actually, 6 types of the quarks are there. Right now, we are taking 2 types of the quarks, and these 2 types of the quarks are this divided in this way. One is called up quarks, another is called down quarks. Okay, so this is basic. So start from the universe, we observe it from the top. Universe we divided 2 part, matter and radiation. Then matter divided in different substance molecules to atoms, atom, proton, electron and neutron. And proton, neutron are made up of the quarks, and they are right now we are taking 2 types of the quarks, up quarks and down quarks. Fine. See, have you seen ever a single atom? Like, can you have the gold atom? It's not possible. We cannot see one gold atom. It's very small. So these three, proton, electron and neutron, they are very tightly bound in one atom. And atoms are tightly bound, right, to form the molecules or the substance. Like gold is the substance. Okay. So to form the gold, number of the gold atoms comes together and it forms a gold. And we can see the gold, but we cannot see one gold atom. Very small. So atom is made up of proton, electron and neutron, then these three must be very tightly with very powerful force, a force of attraction, they must join with each other, so as it is not easy to break one atom from the substance, or it is not very easy to break the atom and to get these three different particles, proton, electron and neutron. Is that clear? And right now you know very well, if you break the atom, large amount of energy produces, that is known as atom bomb. We can say nuclear bomb also. You know very well right now. Okay. So it is not easy to separate proton, electron and neutron from the atom. Is that clear? We will study about the atom, and we are going to understand how they are joined with each other. Okay. There must be force of attraction. How many different force of force in the universe you are knowing? I think students in 11th standard we have studied regarding to the natural forces. Okay, so can you give me the example of natural force? Exactly, you know very well the natural force is force of gravitation. Then we have already studied the name only, electromagnetic force. Is that clear? Then we have studied about weak force and strong force, right? So we are not discussing much regarding to the force, but it is easy to know that we don't know what is electromagnetic force. We have not studied in 11th standard, but we know regarding to the gravitation force. So we can think that these three are tightly bound with each other because of the force of attraction of gravitation. Okay, so let us check, is it possible that they are tightly bound with each other by gravitation force? Okay, if you are measuring the mass of, because what is the equation of gravitation force? So equation of gravitation force is this. Okay, equation of gravitational force, F is equal to g m1 m2 by r square. Where r is the distance between two particles. So if you have the mass of electron, if you have the mass of proton, neutron, then you can get the force of attraction exists between them. Okay, let us check. Anyhow, we have measured the mass of electron. The mass of electron is 9.1 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. How it is measured? Why it is so? Don't bother about it right now. You will understand further how principle wise, how analytically we came to know regarding to the mass of electron. But practically we have measured it, and in future you will study in physics how practically we can measure the mass of electron. In the same way, mass of proton, it is approximately 1.6, okay, into 10 to the power minus 27 kilogram. Mass of neutron slightly more than that. Mass of neutron is 1.66 or more than that. Actually, exact measurement we will study further in physics when we will study about the chapter complete regarding to the atom and nucleus. So these are the approximately mass of the proton and neutron as well as the electron mass. Today's latest study of the physics shows us approximate radius. Okay, approximate radius of atom is 10 to the power minus 15 meter. That's the radius of the atom. So consider here it is one atom like this. This is the atom. Suppose one electron I am considering over here and one proton at the edge I am considering over here. Okay, so average distance between them two is 10 to the power minus 15. It would be look like this. Is that clear? See, instead of 10 to the power minus 15, which is exact radius of the nucleus, but if I say, let us say 10 to the power minus 15. So while you are measuring the mass of it, the force we will calculate it. It would be look like this. F is equal to G mass of electron, mass of proton divided by R square. So R we are taking an average 10 to the power minus 15 distance. Let us calculate the force within these two. While you are measuring this force, you have to find out the value, you have to know the or to place the value of G, which is 6.67 10 to the power minus 11 unit, which is SI unit. Okay, let us check this. So F is equal to 6.67 10 to the power minus 11. Mass of electron is 9.1 10 to the power minus 31. Mass of proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 27. Okay, and the distance I am taking 10 to the power minus 15, the square of it. Okay, we are not calculating it, we are not going to calculate it to find out the perfect value of the force, but let us find out the value of the force exists between two particles, one electron at the center of atom, another proton at the edge of atom, or you can say on the surface. If you measure this approximate value, it is this 6.67 10 to the into 9.1 into 1.6 by 10 to the power minus 30 into 10 to the power minus 11, 31 and 27. Calculate all this. So 11, okay, 7, 8, 9. So you can say 10 to the power minus, here it will be 9 and this will be 2, 5 and 6. Okay, so it will be 69. If you check 6.67 10 to the into 9.1 into 1.6 into, if you remove 30 out of it, it will be goes to minus 39. You can see that F approximately 10 to the power minus 39 Newton. This force is not enough to hold the one proton and neutron, right, to form the atom. It is not possible. If this much small force is there, even a small blow of air can remove the proton from the surface or can break atom easily. But if it is so, then there would not be any stable substance like gold, iron, all these are very stable substances. You cannot easily break them because atoms are very tightly, you can say, bound with each other, as well as electron, proton, neutron inside the atom are also very tightly bound, right, with each other. So definitely gravitation force is not the cause to form the atom. Gravitation force is force of attraction. So it is not gravitation force which is responsible to form the atom. There must be some another force. So some another force would be which force? To understand that, we have done number of the experiment. Okay, and what are those experiment? Out of this experiment, I am going to explain you one of the experiment to understand regarding to the electric charge, or we can say the charge particle. Okay, I would like to ask you the question: how many of you have seen that one incident when you in dry hair, when you comb, you will see that the hair will attract the hair. This comb will attract the hair. You know very well. In winter, in winter, when you rub your hand on woolen cloth, or woolen blanket, you will see the sparking, right? Have you seen it? Sometimes when in winter you are traveling by car for long, and after a long time, if you come out the car and just touch the car, you will experience a shock. Okay, so these are what the number of experiments regarding to the static electricity. How it is possible, we get the electric charge or electric current because of these things, and how we get the spark, everything. So these are the example which will establish there is electric charge possessed by, or electricity possessed by the two particles out of these three, electron, proton and neutron. Okay, so one of the example I am giving, or one of the experiment I am going to show you. Let us take one air tightly closed, bottle, vacuum bottle, we are taking. Okay, and an airtight cork is here. Okay, through this cork, let us pass a small metallic strip. Okay, and this metallic strip is divided further into two parts. Okay, and this is very light, and that's why it is easy to bend this metallic strip. Okay, this is how these parts are there. Initially, this two part of this metallic strip would be very nearer to each other. They would be very nearer to each other like this. Now what will happen? All these example I have given regarding to the electricity we produce, we observed in winter time. What are you actually doing? You are rubbing. So by rubbing the electric charge is produces, that you know very well. But it is not so, right? We will understand regarding the one basic law of conservation of electric charge, and we will be able to understand what I am saying, that electric charge cannot be produced. See, you sit, right, I am giving one example also. You sit on the plastic chair, and when you are sitting on the plastic chair, you must not have any contact with the wall or the surface of earth, right? Your body is on the plastic chair. Ask someone to rub a towel behind this plastic chair for a long time. When he is doing like this, and after doing such process, if you touch someone or you touch to the wall, you will experience shock. Why it is so? Because of rubbing the plastic, you get the charge. Okay, so the charge produces on the plastic chair, that goes on your body. When you touch it, right, charge transfer from your body to wall or some another person, and you experience shock. So how everything possible, how it happens, we are going to study further in electric current chapter. Today right now I'm explaining you what is the meaning of electric charge. Okay, see, when you rub this with woolen cloth, when you rub this with the woolen cloth, or you rub it with the fur, sort of, you can say, cloth, if you rub it, what will happen? After some time, you will see that these two strips of metal are very near to each other, but after rubbing it, it is easy to see that both these strips will move away from each other. And the next picture, after rubbing for long, it will look like this. The next picture will appear in this way. That here it is a strip, you pass through this one, and after rubbing for a long time, you will see that this two part of the strip will move away from each other. So why it happens? Why this happen? They will move away. Why it is so? So let us understand this. Okay. I am giving one more example. Take two balloons. Rub both the rubber balloon with the hair. Hair must be dry hair. When you rub them and try to brought both the rubber balloon towards each other, you will find that they will repel each other. Okay. Another example. You take one rubber balloon, rub it with the dry air, and try to put that one rubber balloon which has been already rubbed and which is unrubbed red balloon. You will find that they will pull each other or they will attract each other. If you rub the balloon with the dry hair and try to bring that nearby the wall, you will find out that the rubbed balloon with the hair, it will stick with the wall. All this example gives us certain things, and the fact is this: while you are rubbing, right, something happens, something transfer. So what is transfer? Let us understand. Okay, further. See, inside the atom, right now you have to accept it, what I am saying regarding to the atom, but you will further study the same thing further in physics when you will study about the chapter atom and nucleus. So atom is made up of, I say, it is made up of the three different particles, right? Actually many subatomic particles are there. Right now you don't have to bother regarding to it. These are this one, three major: electron, right, another proton, second one proton, and the last one neutron. Okay, these two are in a center of the atom. These two are together at the center of the atom, and this center of the atom is known as nucleus. Okay, so the central core portion of the atom is called nucleus. So if you observe carefully what sort of atom it is, the central part is made up of the proton neutron. So I said atom made up of the three particles, electron, proton and neutron. Out of this, proton and neutrons are at the center. So I am showing the number of proton neutron together over here nearby the center, right? Gradually it look like the right in this way, that nearby the center part of the atom the density of proton neutron is high, and gradually they go on decreasing. Finally there is no proton neutron. Every certain substance has the certain number of proton, neutron and electron. As I said, every substance is made up of molecule, and molecules is made up of atom, atom made up of electron, proton and neutron. I said everything is made up of electron, proton and neutron. Then how gold is gold, iron is iron, silver is silver, wood is different. Why all these things are of the different property? Because these three things, right, the number of electron, proton and neutrons are different in different type of the material. That's why they have the different kind of the property. Their arrangement is different thing. So there is a detailed science regarding to the atom. So don't bother about it right now. Just think what I am saying. What is the electric charge? How we get the force of repulsion between these two? See, so proton and neutrons are at the center, whereas electrons are revolving around the central part, which is known as the nucleus, in this way. So electrons are right rotating around the central portion, which is known as nucleus, right, in large radius. So this is very big radius of surround about these in solar system, about the sun, different number of the you can say number of the planets are revolving around. In this way, this is the proton, neutron, and inside the or at the center in the nucleus, and electrons are revolving in different orbits. Okay, what number of electrons are there in the orbit? And in first orbit, what number of electrons are there? Second orbit, which is the larger orbit? What happens? Everything you will study in the chapter of atom and nucleus. Right now, we are studying like this. In this, this is the picture, right, of the atom. See, when this sort of the atom is, this is one atom. You can't say this one atom. But you can see the gold, you can see the iron, you can see the silver. Why you can see the substance? Because such number of atoms comes together and they join with each other, and while they join, right, they form the substance. They use their electrons, because electron you can say the outermost part of the atom. So they use electron, their arrangement, to form the substance. So while they use, some of the electrons comes out of the atom. How and why it happens we'll study in further study of physics. So I want to say electrons are at the outermost part of the atom. And when two atoms together or number of the atoms comes together to join a substance or to form a substance to join with each other, they use electron, the different kind of the arrangement of electron. And there is different kind of the arrangement of the atom, or you can say core portion of that. So electrons are, you can say, weakly bound in the substance. They are not strongly bound. They are not strongly bound like in proton, neutrons are at the center. It is not easy to break the nucleus. When you break the nucleus, large amount of energy produces. As well as there are certain type of the arrangement, certain type of the experiment is required to break the nucleus. It is not easy to break nucleus. Okay, in normal condition you can't break the nucleus. So electrons are in the outermost part of the substance. So while you rub one substance with another, from one body, a certain number of electrons are transferred to the another body. Is that clear? Understood? Okay. So I would like to say you, suppose electrons are transferred from, for example, it's not necessary what I'm saying, right? If I'm rubbing a silver, sorry, this is the silver plate, suppose, or you can say silver foil, and I'm rubbing, you can say fur cloth, a type of fur, a type of material, or you can say cloth. If I'm rubbing it, it is quite possible from fur to silver plate or silver foil, electrons are coming. Or sometimes it's possible that from silver foil to the some another material, the electrons are transferred. It depends upon the type of material. I will explain you, or I will give you, right, from which body to another which body electrons are transferring. Not necessarily always. It does not depends upon the there is particular law. It depends entirely on the type of material. Why it is so, that you will also understand in the physics further. So suppose one material is rubbed with this silver foil, then electrons are transferred. So electrons will come over here. So these are the electrons. I am showing it by writing E. Okay, and it is found that before electrons were transferred to it, the two strips are very close to each other. As soon as the electron transfer on this both the strip, they comes from this one, and while electrons are coming over here, they divide on this two strip, and they start applying force of repulsion on each other, and that's why both the strips are moving away. Okay, it is found like this. I said you one example. If you rub a rubber balloon on the dry hair, and this rubber balloon is allowed to, or it is placed nearby the wall, it will attract with it. Why it is so? So reason behind it, two electrons repel each other, but one electron, if it comes in contact with other type of the material, or like wall, one electron comes nearby the wall, what happens? It will attract it. So why it is so? Because there is particular property associated with the electron as well as this proton. Okay, so only two particles are there which has a certain type of the property to attract or repel. Okay, why I'm saying there are two types of the property? Because there is not only force of attraction, there is force of repulsion. I am giving you one example. Can you give me why there is force of gravity, or what is the cause of force of attraction? What is the cause of force of attraction? We'll say. So you know very well the force of attraction of gravitation from the equation you know very well. It is m1 m2 by r square. So cause of gravity you will say mass of the body. So mass of the body is a cause of gravity. Have you ever heard about the white mass, black mass, bright mass, dark mass, positive mass, negative mass? You haven't heard it. So there is no two type of the mass. Mass is just mass. That's why there is only one force of attraction. Naturally, only one type of the mass. So one force of attraction. Here it is found force of attraction as well as repulsion. So what does it mean? The physical quantity mass which is only of one type produces only one type of force, and that is the force of attraction. Okay? Only one force of attraction. Here we found that the electron proton, they are the two particles, they either apply force of attraction or repulsion. We found that between two electrons, okay, it is found between two electrons, there is force of repulsion, and it is found practically, and you will also study in further physics, that between, okay, two protons there is force of repulsion. But if you bring one electron and one proton together, okay, or nearby each other. This is electron and another proton. When they brought nearby each other, it is found they will attract each other. Okay, see, two electrons repel each other. Suppose some body is there. This is a one body, body A, and this is another body, body B. If I rub with this body with another third body C, suppose, okay, with this third body, if A is rubbed, an electron transfer like this, okay. So here A do not possess electron, or you can say electrons, there is, you can say electrons acquired by the C. So electron is removed from the A. So deficiency of electron takes place over here. Deficiency of electrons taking place over here. Okay. It is found. I said you why different atoms are different. Like gold is different, iron is different. Even though all they are made up of electron, proton, and neutron. Why it is so? Because it all depends upon the what number. Okay, number of electron, proton and neutron. It all depends upon this. And it is also the fact that the number of electron is equal to number of proton in every atom. Like if you take a gold atom, the number of electron is equal to the number of proton inside. If you take the iron atom, the number of electron and number of proton inside the iron atom will be the same. They are different from the number of electron proton in the gold, but they are same itself. Like one gold atom possesses certain number of the proton, then same number of the electron will be acquired by it. What is the number? Everything we are studying. Right now I am explaining you only what is the charge. Okay, so this is the fact. I said this number of electron and proton inside the right substance A, or you can say in the atom of substance A, is same. But some of the atom right lose electron, it goes to the C. So here large number of protons are there. This is also right rubbed with heat one, another substance like substance D. While rubbing it is found that the electron transfer from D to B. Can I say this possesses large number of proton, whereas this possesses large number of electron? When these two body A and B are brought nearby each other, it is found they will attract each other. So there will be the force of attraction between these two. Okay, there will be force of attraction between these two. Is that clear? Understood? So there are two sort of forces. One is called the repulsive force. Okay, repulsive, and another is force of attraction. So if mass is only one type, produces only one type of force, force of attraction, force of gravity, whereas it is found there are two type of forces, therefore there are two sort of the physical quantity, and that physical quantity given name charge. So there are two type of the charge. One we may say positive, another negative. We may say black and white, but the black and white cannot use to calculate something. That's why it is taken positive and negative. Now out of these three, one proton and electron possess a charge. Which one you will call as positive and which one you will call as negative? So there is not any law. Initially scientists, anyone asked someone or someone decided that let us take proton is positively charged, then automatically electron becomes negatively charged. If you are taking right now from today, you are taking electron is positive charge, automatically proton will become negative charge, because there is not any law why electron should be taken as negative. Right? This is the time daytime. Right? Who said you that this is daytime? It's only the name. If you take this as night, then automatically night will become day. That's a name only. So in the same way, proton is taken initially by the scientist positive, and electron is taken automatically. Who consider who give the name positive, negative? You are studying further in study of atom and nucleus. Right now only I am giving what is the definition of the charge. So understood, students, what is the meaning of charge? Charge is nothing but there are two particles which are the basic particle, which are the electron proton. They possess certain type of the physical quantity, and due to this physical quantity there is force of attraction or repulsion between them, and this physical quantity is known as electric charge. So dear friends, we studied right what is the definition of electric charge. So I am going to explain you or repeat it again. What is electric charge? Okay. So electric charge is nothing but a physical quantity associated with two basic particles, fundamental particles, which are the electron and proton. Okay. So these two possess electric charge. And what are the type of electric charge? So type of electric charge are two. Which are the type of electric charge? Two. One is called positive charge. Okay. Another is called negative charge. We say that which charge is negative charge. We said which particle possesses positive charge. So we say here it is accepted that proton is positively charged particle, then automatically electron becomes negatively charged particles. Okay, so these are the type of charge. It is found that two electron repel each other. Okay, so two electron repel each other, or there is between two electron the force of repulsion exists. Okay, repulsion, and between one proton and electron there is force of attraction exists. Okay, attraction. So can we say from this two negative charge, okay, two negative charge repel each other, and one positive charge, one negative charge attract each other. Okay, attract each other. Similarly, two positive charge, positive repel each other. Okay, so this is what it is happening. So there are two sort of the force of attraction, force of, this is electric charge, electrostatic charge. We are studying electrostatic, I say. We are studying electrostatic and electric charge and electric field. So electrostatic, okay, statics. Electric charge, electric field, the first chapter of electrostatics. Second chapter is electric potential and capacitance. So these two chapters combinedly cause electrostatics. So in this electrostatic, why we are saying this part of the physics as electrostatics? Because we are studying this chapter number 1. Okay, chapter 1, and we will study chapter number 2. They are of electrostatics, because when this charges, electric charges are stationary, the phenomena taking place, or there is certain phenomena associated with it, and we will study about them when they are stationary. That's why it is known as electrostatics. So let's understand what is the definition of electrostatics. Who will say the definition of electrostatic is definition of electrostatic is this. It's a branch of physics. Okay, the branch of electricity, branch of physics in which there is electricity as a one branch. So branch of electricity, where electricity we are studying when charges, or you can say electric charge, are stationary, the phenomena, stationary, the phenomena taking place between them. So this is what about the electrostatics. Electrostatic is a branch of electricity in which we are studying the phenomena, or you can say some sort of the interaction taking place between them while they are stationary. So that branch of the electricity is known as electrostatics. When they are moving and the phenomena taking place, that is known as electricity, or you can say current electricity. So electricity has two parts, electrostatic and electricity. It has two parts. Okay, the first part we are saying electrostatics. The first part is called electrostatics, and second part we will call electric current or current electricity. So electric current, or it is current electricity. Okay, so electricity is a branch of physics. It has two division. First division electrostatics, second is called electric current. So we will study this one, electric current, in third chapter. The first part, electrostatic, is chapter number 1 and chapter number 2. This is chapter number 3 of our syllabus. Understood? Is it clear? So this is about the introduction of this chapter. I said what is electric charge. Okay, and the very basic as well as very fundamental rule, or you can say phenomena. You can say I said in 11th standard, to understand entire physics we have to understand very well 7 laws. Out of these 7 laws, let us recall all them. What are those 7 laws? The first law of motion, that is Newton's first law. Second law of motion, third law of motion. So law of Newton's first law, second law, and third law. 3 laws are there. Fourth law of conservation of linear momentum. Then law of conservation of energy. Then law of conservation of angular momentum. These are the 6 laws we have studied in 11th standard. The 7th law, basic law, it's a law of conservation of electric charge. I say. So it was studied in 11th standard. That is law of conservation of electric charge. And chapter number 1 is the first chapter in which we will study law of conservation of electric charge. So we are going to study about the what is law of conservation of electric charge. But before we study about the law of conservation of electric charge, very basic and very fundamental, right? You can say law, or you can say one particular thing we have to understand regarding to the electric charge. And the word I am going to explain you, it is very important in studying further physics to understand the nature and to understand what is the cause and what is our existence, why we are here, how this universe is formed, who is God, or what is the cause of this entire existence. To understand all these things, you have to understand the quantum physics. So the word quantum physics, we are going to understand right now what is the meaning of quantization. So the thing which I am going to explain you, the quantization of electric charge, very important, very important. If you understand it well, you will understand further. Already you have studied quantization in 11th standard, but you don't know that word, it was quantization. Okay, I will explain you right that, or I will ask you, I will explain you again, right? In waves you have studied quantization, we have studied in chapter energy, potential energy, there is quantization of potential energy, give example of all this. Okay, so let us understand regarding to what do you mean by the quantization of electric charge. Okay, before I explain you what is the meaning of quantization of electric charge, I again repeat the definition of electric charge, and then I am giving the value of electric charge. I said mass is the cause of force of gravitation. Similarly, electric charge is a cause of force of attraction or repulsion of, between the electron and proton. That is the force of electricity or electrostatic force. Is that clear? So electric charge, you know the term. What is the meaning of it? Now like a certain body, a certain value of mass. In the same way, someone asks you, what is the electric charge of electron? What is the electric charge of proton? If someone asks you like this, then one device is there using which we can measure the electric charge, right? So if you measure the electric charge of electron as well as proton by different number of the calculation in further study of physics, you will able to understand what is electric value of electric charge. So by device as well as you can say the name of device, I will explain you how it works. If you want to study, you can understand it after studying this chapter. See, the charge of electron is, I am writing value of it. The charge of electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So C, I am writing it is COULOMB coulomb. This is the unit. It is the SI unit of the electric charge. Like mass has kilogram unit. Like mass of electron is 9.1 10 to the power minus 31 kilogram. In the same way, charge of electron, it is look like this. Usually Q you will use as symbol of charge, or you can say like mass we are using M as a, you can say, one term, or you can say symbol for to represent the mass in equation. In the same way, Q we will use as a symbol of what? To represent electric charge, right, in equation. So Q is a symbol. Here, charge of electron has a special term, or you can say symbol E, but it is negatively charged. So I'll say negative here. I'm writing here minus. Similarly, it is of electron charge. So I'm writing this charge of electron. In the same way, charge of proton. Okay, proton has charge E. It is positive, 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. Okay, so this is what about the electric charge. The value of, you can see that the charge of electron as well as charge of proton are same. And earlier I said, when I am giving example of body A and body B, I said every body, like if you touch the gold, do you experience electric force? No. When you touch iron rod, you are not experiencing any electric shock. Why it is so? Because it is not charged body. While it is rubbed, it becomes charged body because of transfer of electron. So earlier I explained you the number of electron as well as proton inside any substance, right? You can say atom will be equal. So one positive charge 1.6 10 to the power minus 1 electronic charge, and proton positively charged 1.6 10 to the power minus 8 proton charge. So one electronic charge negative 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. Another proton charge 1.6 10 to the power. Total charge will be 0. The charges are additive. So first law, charges are additive, and there are two type only. So every substance electrically neutral, like the iron, without rub with it or without any process, right? It is not electrically charged body. So in example, like if you do not rub the rubber balloon with the dry hair, it will not charge. Means total number of electron as well as protons on the unrubbed rubber balloon will be the same as well as in the hair. So number of electron proton are same. What does it mean? The body will be neutral. Is that clear? So by considering this, that every substance has total zero charge or they are neutral without transferring electron from one body to another body, right? There is no charge or body will not charge. So after studying this, you will able to understand what is the I said quantization of electric charge, which is very extraordinary.